Chapter 5, The Fall of Sophia and the Fall of Our World from God's Grace. Remember, these aren't my personal views. This is just my personal view of how they view the world. Fall of Sophia and the fall of our world from God's grace. If you compare this to the Lucifer story, Lucifer's fall is because he was obsessed with his own beauty, supposedly. And that never made sense to me. But now if you come from Sophia's perspective, she is enthralled, obsessed. She loves her creation. She loves her Saturn world, and she loves the humans or the humanish atom thingies on the Saturn world. She loves them so much that she cannot turn the switch off. Because remember at the beginning of this I said, and maybe in the last video, one of the constraints from God given to Sophia was that at some point she has to shut this down. Like, it can't just go on forever. This world is not eternal. This is like an experiment for her to enjoy her own creation. At some point, hit the switch, wrap things up, close the book figuratively, and return to God, and then you can spend eternity with God. Up to this point, she had obeyed God. We were all in God's good graces. And then Sophia went against God's instruction and decided to procreate. Right? She decided to make a copy of herself, clone herself, however you want to describe it. This was her plan. She was going to divide herself into two and leave one behind to look over Eden, because she could not bear to close the book. She didn't want it to end because she thought it was such a great place. She was so proud of her creation. So she cloned herself. This is the moment when she fell from grace. So remember, she's the grand architect of the universe. She's a creator, but she does not have God's ability to see all timelines at once. She doesn't see that her plan will fail spectacularly. And her fall from grace means that anything she creates, all right, she no longer has God's protection. So anything she creates, it's going to be bad. It's going to be opposite day. And so she creates a he, gives birth to a he. And it is not good. It is evil. This is an evil angel, Aeon. This god-like thing has creative powers, just like Sophia had creative powers. This fall from grace means that Sophia is no longer connected with God. God has shut her out of his area, and her evil creation is known to the trannies as Jehovah, El, Yahweh. Greeks called him Zeus. Romans called him Jupiter. That's the thing about mythology too. So Kronos gives birth to Zeus, or when the Romans told it, it was Saturn gave birth to Jupiter. So all of this connects. It's all very logical from their perspective. Sophia gives birth to Jehovah. Jehovah is evil. He's haughty. He's arrogant. He doesn't even acknowledge that Sophia is his mother. He thinks that he is the one and only true God. And if you read Greek mythology, Zeus shares a lot in common with what they think that this God is. This is the God of the Old Testament. From their perspective, this is the Old Testament God, because in their minds, it's the same guy. It's the Father in heaven. Sophia is the mother in heaven. Yahweh, El, Zeus, Jupiter, whatever name you give him, he is the Father in heaven. So we're just going to look at a video, some slide shots of a music video from a metal band from France called Gojira. You'll see how this story progresses, and they do everything very fast in flash frame. Just regular folks like yourself and me. We ain't gonna understand. The cell. Sophia is crying a tear. This is the angel Sophia, God to the upper right. His back's turned. She knows she has to shut down the world, doesn't want to, so she decides to divide herself. And when this happens, it is the introduction of filth into the world. It is the introduction of fire into the world, introduction of cellular life, DNA strand. It is the introduction of weather events. So there wasn't really weather events before this. Introduction of time. So it was a timeless world. Saturn was in control of time, Kronos in control of time. She has now lost control of time. And now she's looking down on Earth, super duper bummed. She, represented here as a cell, is dividing. You get that? Bang. This is also represented celestially, so there was just Saturn in the sky. And when she decided to divide herself, Saturn split in half just like a cell did and split into two celestial objects, and then we had two suns or stars in the sky. And the first line in this is, all this evil sanctified. That means evil is now holy. We have been divided from God, cut off from God because of Sophia's fall from grace. We're part of her. That means we fall as well. I mean, it was her choice for us to stick around here and not go back with God. So we're stuck in this situation with her, and it's very sad. This is the development, so the shattering of that old electrical battery life-giving power tree into a photosynthesis tree. So you see that the sky here is pushing away the darkness, and then light is showing up, replacing the darkness, which means this is now going to be a cellular life-based tree. Photosynthesis rules now apply to this world. I mean, basically what happened here is that when she divided herself, she also completely split reality, because Jehovah has the programming now that he must divide everything. So he splits the world other ways too, and you'll see how he splits it. We're no longer electrical life. We see that we are cellular life. We're not an electrical motor. We are, running on chemicals now. And they show the birth of. So the bearded man here is representative of Jehovah. He is now birthed. He's alive. He sees what's going on, and that's why there's also lightning here, because remember, Zeus, lightning go hand in hand. Death is introduced in the world. You see here like a child's face and a skull next to it. So you can think of catastrophism, symbolism in this too. So the dividing of the world was a catastrophic event that introduced death and pain and suffering, and that's what this image portrays. Again, more weather events. Plants now flower, they now reproduce. You see the hexagon in the center again, more cube symbolism. And you see the baby here representing age of innocence, the digital age that we used to have. The digital here, digital baby, and then bam, now it's this adult cellular organism. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole video. So it shows the world in pixels and then explodes into the frickin' drummer. How awesome is that? And you also see here the black star in the background, the dethroning of the queen here. It's reversed, it's the king, it should be the queen. So they're knocking the king down, and bam, let there be light. Jehovah now rules in the sky, Father in heaven. In 2 minutes and 24 seconds, it's his digital androgynous skeleton on the outside. And it literally shatters and explodes into his cellular body. We now have a splitting. Androgynous atom splits into male and female. This is now Jehovah's world. This is a duality-based world. This is a world of life and death. This world is evil, just like Jehovah is evil. And buried deep down is our digital past. So that's why you see a child's face here, innocent child being buried into the earth, being railroaded into the earth. We aren't going to talk about our original history. Going to keep this quiet. And again, more death. Planets collide. So this is a big thing in their whole mythology, is that the planets were always fighting each other. Saturn tried to dethrone Zeus once Saturn created Zeus, but lost, was cast out into, the Netherlands of wherever she's hanging out right now. And Zeus, the Father in heaven, still rules in the skies. And the sun in the face. How cool is that? That was an awesome video. I could talk more about this, but honestly, it's going on so long now, and I just want to go home. So hopefully I'll have this up for you guys. And auf Wiedersehen.